Hello, thanks for joining me and welcome to another episode of One Man's Tracks. Today's group I'm talking about was based out of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and was made up of locals Miko Hoffman and Megan Mallet, who, alongside the critically acclaimed Californian singer-songwriter Rose Melberg, would form the band in the late 90s. They would release 2 albums during their short period together, one of which I've got right here. This is their 1998 debut album, released through K Records. This is Mitsumeru by Gaze. Mitsumeru being the Japanese word for to stare at or gaze. This reflective, self-titled record is a dreamy sort of retro soundscape that feels like you're just reaching back into a picture book of the past and picking out memories and sort of hashing them out and releasing those emotions you've got all pent up from past kind of interactions you've had with unfortunate relationships, for the most part in this case. It's super engaging and it's a great aesthetic while it's on, but it's sort of repetitive in nature, and it's got a cloudiness, a fogginess, a haziness to it that you can't really break into without diving right in. Some songs on here feel so heartfelt, so honest, so clear while I'm immersed in them that I feel like it's worth taking a few minutes and talking about some of the tracks on this dreamy twee-pop soundscape that these girls have presented here. Starting out with the track Shady, that not only opens up the album but opens up in sort of a poignant confessional sort of way. That culminates into the up-tempo, fun little follow-up titled Jelly Bean that opens up with the line, "You think you have me all figured out, but you don't know me in the least. I don't want what you want. I don't care what you think." It's super fun, and then it jumps into the red and jelly bean, pink and blue, jelly beans are good for you. Chorus is just woo. I really like the title of the next song, Bob Again. It's a sleepier, brief revisit to a past lover asking the questions, how are you doing, and is life treating you better than I did? Those closing statements are pretty much the most memorable part of the whole song that kind of blends into the aesthetic of the rest of the album. 400 AD then swings in on a bit of a beachier vibe, but sticks to the concept of past flings. Then you have Anyway that brings the tempo back up again, feeling a bit like Kimya Dawson here on this quick, really on-the-nose little number. Now here's a track I'd really like to point out to you. This is Portrait. It feels like a precursor to the fabulous Pristine by Snail Mail. It's got these great time signature change-ups that provide a crescendo on this ahead-of-its-time beauty. Check it out. Don't miss it. After that, they return to the same floaty vibe that you get from Anyways. This is Preppy Villain, and it's another confession of insecurities followed by being let down. Just another breakup song, of course. Confronting someone's need to mask their insecurities through throwing insults behind someone's back, it's the theme of the next track, Peeking Shows His Ignorance. The girls put together another nail on the head poetic breakdown with lines like, "If you won't let me argue, then you're just as bad as you think I am, and don't call her a bitch, she'll bite back." They're perfect, and I love the heck out of this one too. A simple indie rock bass line leads Listen through a really uncomfortable confrontation that feels just primed to boil over at any minute, but it never does, and the girls just kind of continue on with their sort of level, muted retorts. Now you have Eric Idle, that's the shortest and fastest track. I look at it like the cathartic release that was lacking from the last song, and just an energetic shake-up to make sure you haven't drifted off yet. Then Seedless starts up the back end of this LP. Another well-written twee-pop piece that poetically yet concisely breaks down a complex, I think it's a quadrilateral relationship. This isn't a love triangle. This is more than that going on, and it's broken down in just a few minutes here. That said, it would probably take you about half a dozen listens to get the meaning behind it. I just looked up the lyrics and I had probably listened to it about half a dozen times at that point and hadn't quite pieced this one together yet. Another track with a title I really enjoy. This one's Turquoise. Maybe the word's just fun to look at. It doesn't even look like it's spelled right. Maybe I just don't know how to spell it. Either way, this track's the most open of the bunch, and that openness really adds to the narrative of searching for someone who's lost. We've got this great chorus line of floating through time and space. Just another lovely little piece. X-Reel sees return to that snail mail-y sound from Portrait. Bright, light, dreamy delivery about another painful love lost. The minor chords that pop up on You Glow really make it so much sadder than the rest of the record. It truly feels like the closing track the second it starts. The contemplative sorrow that's just dumped into this one could be really attributed to most of the songs on this record, and it's kind of nice that they wait to the end to dump it on you for this cryptic closing piece that I really haven't picked apart enough to fully grasp. If anyone could help explain this last little number to me, I'd be super appreciative. Also appreciative because they only released one more album the following year titled Shake the Pounce, and that's the entire Gaze discography for this fun little indie pop trio. I've honestly had some real struggles trying to find information about either the songwriters, Megan or Miko, pre or post Gaze, but Rose Melberg, on the other hand, has continued to leave a wake of indie pop wherever she goes, seeming to always be a part of numerous outfits, from knife pleats to pops to what's another one? Imaginary Pants she was a part of. She's done some solo stuff, and there's more bands I know I'm forgetting. If you like this album, I guess give those a listen, or maybe check out some of her stuff she put out pre-Gaze, back when she was in California working with bands like Tiger Trapped, Ghost Sailor, and the Softies. All linked in the description along with this and everything else I've mentioned. Thank you so much for watching my Mitsumeru review. Leave a like and comment below what you think of it and the twee-pop genre in general. Maybe you got an album recommendation for me. Take good care. Make sure you've subscribed right here and check out another review and maybe a video that YouTube will think you like. Lots of love, everybody. Turquoise? I don't know. This is a weird word.